Imagine sitting in a small cafe hidden away in an old alley of Tokyo. A completely ordinary cafe, except for one secret. If you sit in a particular seat, you can travel to the past or even the future. But this chance isn't easy. It comes with strict rules. You can't change the present, no matter what you do. You must stay in the same seat the whole time. And most importantly, you must return and drink your coffee before it gets cold. Or you'll be stuck in that time forever. So, why would anyone agree to such a deal? Because the truth is simple. People don't go there to change the past, they go there to understand it. To face the words they never said, the feelings they hid, and the regrets that have weighed on them their whole lives. Japanese author Toshikazu Kawaguchi, in his book, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, tells 4 deeply moving stories. 4 hearts walked into that cafe carrying heavy burdens, and walked out not as different people, but with lighter hearts and calmer souls. And now, I'll take you with me on that journey. 4 stories, for people who only wanted an answer or even just one last word before it was too late. Let's begin. Story 1. The Lovers. Fumiko is a practical, successful woman, but her love life is full of hesitation. She loved Garo, an ambitious man, but one day he suddenly decided to move to America to follow his dreams. She was devastated not because he left, but because it felt like he chose a future without her. Her pride was wounded, and she stayed silent, letting him go without ever telling him she loved him or that she was willing to wait. Regret haunted her every day. If I had told him, would he have stayed? Would we still be together? She came to the cafe determined to face her fear, even if it wouldn't change anything. She went back to the past, sat in front of him before he left, and with her heart racing, she whispered, "Goro, I wasn't upset about you leaving. I was upset because I felt I wasn't important to you, like I wasn't part of your future." He looked at her gently and said the words that finally freed her from her regret. "Fumiko, you're the most important thing in my life. I went to America to build a better future, even for you. I was just afraid to burden you with it." She gave him a bittersweet smile. The past wouldn't change, but she finally heard what she needed to hear. She returned to her seat, drank her coffee before it got cold, and left the cafe with a lighter heart. The words we don't say at the right time are often the heaviest burden we carry. Sometimes, even a late confession can free us from regret. Story 2. Husband and Wife. As Fumiko walked out of the cafe with a lighter heart, an elderly woman walked in. Her face was calm, but her eyes carried deep sorrow. This was Kotake. Her husband suffers from Alzheimer's, forgetting everything about her, sometimes even forgetting who she is. She went back to a time before his illness worsened, sat beside him, and with trembling hands asked, "If the day ever comes when you forget me, will you still love me?" He smiled warmly and said, as if it was the most obvious thing in the world, "Kotake, even if I forget your name, even if I forget your face, my heart will never forget you." Those words echoed in her heart as she returned to her seat and drank her coffee before it got cold. Back in the present, her husband still forgets a lot, but every time he smiles at her, even if he doesn't know who she is, she remembers that one sentence, and it brings her peace. True love isn't just memories or names, it's something that lives in the heart, even when the mind forgets. Story 3. The Sisters. In another corner of the cafe, a young woman sat silently, hesitant to move. Her eyes held back tears. This was Hiragi. She could never forgive herself after her sister's death. The last time they saw each other, they had a terrible argument, and that was their final goodbye. She went back to the past and saw her sister again. With the same warm smile she had missed so much. Crying, she whispered, I'm sorry for hurting you. I love you. Her sister looked at her gently and said, I know, and I love you too. Hiragi returned to her seat in tears, but this time, they were tears of relief, not guilt. Forgiving those who've passed doesn't change the past, but it frees your heart and lifts the weight of guilt. Story 4. Mother and Child. As Hiragi drank the last sip of her coffee, the door opened, and a young woman walked in, trying to look strong, but her face betrayed her fear. Kayake was the last story of the day, but the one filled with the most hope. Kayake was in the early months of pregnancy, but her life had been shattered after her husband died in an accident. Every night she cried, asking herself, can I raise this baby alone? Will I be a good mother? She chose to travel to the future to see her child. She found a tall young man smiling at her, with features that looked like both her and her husband. He said softly, Mom, thank you for bringing me into this world. Thank you for not giving up. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, I was scared I wouldn't be good enough. He held her hands and smiled. Don't be afraid, you're the best mother in the world. I'm fine, and I'll always be fine. She returned to her seat, drank her coffee before it got cold, and went back to the present. Life was still hard, but now she had real hope and a reason to fight for the future. Small blue diamond message. Even in our darkest moments, hope for the future can give us the strength to keep going. For stories, 4 people walked into the cafe carrying heavy burdens. A woman regretting lost love, a wife afraid of being forgotten, a sister seeking late forgiveness, and a mother searching for hope. None of them could change the past, but they didn't need to. The change had to happen inside themselves. Before the Coffee Gets Cold isn't really a book about time travel. It's about hearts learning to forgive, to love, to face the truth, and to find the courage to move on. And in the end, it leaves us with one powerful message. We can't go back and change the past, but we can face our feelings now before our own coffee gets cold.